Like every time you have to act, you have to face a fear and face a insecurity, which is maybe very masochistic of me and self-punishing, but it's something that I enjoy.
Hi, Tom. Thank
Hello.
you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Can I ask how it all started? How did you the passion arise?
Like acting?
Yeah, acting.
Oh, yeah, God. I think I started when I was like 14, kind of trying to be an actor. I think I got interested in film first, and my dad didn't live with us, but I would see him like once a month, and that was how we connected, was like watching film. So it was very much like part of my childhood and connecting with my father. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the first film I ever saw that like really meant something was Donnie Darko, which is an odd one, but I remember being really like perplexed by it and confused by it, and then thinking, oh, that's what film can do. Is like it can be something that makes you think, rather than like up until that point it had just been Monsters Inc. and like great animations, which I'm presenting the animation award tonight, so that's kind of fitting. But yeah, I think there was a moment I remember when I was like 12 or 13 when I just remembered or just realized that film could be something that made you go deeper into yourself, and that was exciting and confusing, and I liked that. I liked that it was challenging my perceptions.
I read, correct me if I'm wrong, that you studied at Juilliard. How is that, that bit of education, do you think that took you to where you are now?
Yeah, 100%. It took me to where I am now, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for Juilliard, I don't think. I think I also needed to go to train, first of all, just to get that. So I think I had something when I was younger, but it was like untamed. It was like I didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. It was very inconsistent, whatever that kind of minor skill that I had as a kid for acting. It was not like something that I think I could have channeled. And going to a drama school allowed me to find a way to kind of like hone that and challenge myself more. But yeah, I think it was instrumental in like having any kind of career. Yeah. Also, you can do it without it. I know a lot of people who are fantastic actors who didn't do that, but I needed to, I think. And I think going to the States helps, just because I think I had a kind of like a slightly like British wallflower quality to me when I was in the UK. I didn't quite feel comfortable putting myself out there. And then when I went to the States, it kind of forced me to be out of my comfort zone, I think. But that could have been the same in any country, I think, if I'd have come here or gone to France or like, I think I just needed to get out of the UK and be in a different environment, yeah.
Can I ask how you explored your insecurities to, tame them and suppress them? I think it's important for us young people and everyone to understand how to do that, because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I think when you're younger, you compare yourself a lot to people. You end up like looking left and right and comparing, and that is like that ends all kind of spontaneity. Like if you're constantly comparing or you're feeling insecure, basing your self-worth on other people, like you can't listen to your gut. You kind of, it drowns out your own gut instincts, which is like obviously imperative as an actor. So I think going to drama school or going to any kind of like class where you can start to feel confident in just like getting up and performing in front of people is a huge part of that. I think like just you have to face the discomfort. I think that was a big thing for me when I was younger, is like I'd feel very uncomfortable getting up in front of people. Like I'm very nervous to get up and present an award tonight, like very nervous. Yeah. So that's something I need to practice as well. But I think the beautiful part about acting is that it allows you to challenge yourself by facing your fears every time you do it. Like every time you have to act, you have to face a fear and face a insecurity, which is maybe very masochistic of me and self-punishing, but it's something that I enjoy. I think theatre is essential in terms of like expanding your craft. That word always sounds a bit like, well, but I think like challenging your boundaries and pushing your boundaries out of what you think you're capable of. I think theatre is an exercise in imagination, even more than film is, because on a film set you might have like all the costume you need, all the props you need, and you look around you and there's a set there or like a town that you're filming in and it all looks very real, which is great and allows you to think less about your imagination and more about just being present. But when you're on stage or you're in a workshop of a play or whatever it may be, rehearsal, you have to engage your imagination in such a way that it's like being a child again. It's like that feeling of when you're running around with your friends in a field or in the streets and or playing with toys, and your imagination just does all the work. Like being able to do that in theatre is such a great way to kind of like keep that muscle alive.
Yeah.
So I think being able to start in theatre or do theatre at any point is a real luxury.
What is the most rewarding thing then to be an actor?
I think it's that. I think it's like there's never a dull moment. You are always being, you're always putting yourself under the microscope. Yes. You're always looking at your own humanity and other people's humanity, and not to sound too kind of woo-woo, but I think it's important to do that. I think it's an exercise in empathy, especially now when the world is feeling less empathetic than ever. Mm-hmm. I think it's really genuinely an honor to be able to do that and make a living doing it as well, if you're lucky enough to be able to do that. But yeah, I think the most rewarding thing is like getting to kind of examine humanity every time that you do it. But it's also, you get to play, which as an adult is like, we don't really play much, you know, like you laugh and you might have joy, but like getting to actually play like a kid mm-hmm. is such a cool thing to be able to do as an adult, and then do it for work is even better. But yeah, it's all I ever wanted to do. So I feel very, very lucky. A lot of hard work has gone into it, but I also feel very lucky as well.
Do you ever feel like cinema is sort of like an escape to reality?
Yes and no. Like I think you are escaping in the sense that you're watching something that's not your real life. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of escaping your own real life. So there's escapism there, but I think also you are getting closer to other people's reality. Like when you watch a film, when you watch Emilia Perez, you are watching an experience that's not yours. You're watching another human's experience. So while you might be escaping your reality, you're also getting closer to somebody else's. And I think that's why it's important. And that's why it's like not just for entertainment and it's not just escapism, it's something else.
Okay. Yeah. What about European cinema? Do you think where do you see its future? Do you think it's important for young people and
hugely, yeah. I mean, I think the European cinema space has been, to me, like one of the most important for as long as it's existed. I mean, like I live in the States now, but it's always the European films that people seem excited by, and like seem excited by in a really genuine, like we haven't seen this before kind of way. You know, like obviously the States and America make really great, exciting films, but European cinema is, to me, always a bit more humanistic. It always feels more like simultaneously bold and thinking outside the box while also being really grounded and grounded in reality. But yeah, I think it's more important than ever. I think cinema is in a challenging time where we're all distracted by phones and tablets and TVs, and it's so easy to stay at home. And I guess people are saying that people have never left the house less. Like everyone's staying at home a lot more apparently. And I think the challenge for us as filmmakers is to try and give people a genuine reason to get out of the house, go to the cinema and watch something that makes them feel something. We have to put our money and time where our mouth is and actually keep investing in young European filmmakers. Yeah.
I think we need more of those.
Yeah.
Oh, that open-mindedness. What's your favorite European film? Is that
my favorite European film of all time?
This always gets...
Oh man, I should have thought more about this before I came in.
I know,
I'll tell you one of my favorite European films of recent years, or the past decade, is Victoria, which I loved. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
It's an incredible film. Franz Rogowski is in it as well. And it's all in one take, the whole thing. It came out in 2015. And it was shot in one take, and they rehearsed it a bunch of times, and then it took them 3 takes to get it right. And the whole film for 2 hours is shot in one consistent take, and it goes all the way through, I think it's Berlin, all the way through the city, and it starts in a nightclub and ends with it's a bank robbery at one point, and then it ends somewhere else, and it's an amazing feat of filmmaking.
What advice would you give to young people like me who aspire to you know, grow into someone like you?
If I had to pick one thing to like tell myself when I was trying to do this, would be, don't be afraid of the mistakes. Like, don't be afraid to be ugly, messy, to be like not perfect. Like when you watch a film, the performances that we love the most and that I love are the messy ones, like where people
rustic.
Yeah, they're not afraid to let their guard down and be vulnerable. And that's actually, I think it's the hardest thing to do. I think being vulnerable is a genuinely difficult thing to do because the world is tough and we're taught to be tough, and which is a skill in itself. But I also think like if you can allow yourself to genuinely let your guard down and be there and be present and listen, whatever comes out is going to be truthful. And that is like, I think for any actor, probably the constant battle is like, stay present, stay vulnerable, be ugly, you know. I think that's the one thing, if you had to do one thing.
Cool.
And then any audition you go into is going to be, it's like, yes, it will still be scary, but at least you'll be present. And anyone who sees you auditioning is going to go, oh, it may not have been a perfect performance, but those don't really exist, and they were really present, and I know we can make something together, you know. So yeah.
I'll take that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Really easy to talk to you. You're amazing. Thank you.
Cheers.